Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising, here's your tarot reading for the week ahead. As ever, I release these weekly, so be sure to sign up to the email notifications of when these are coming out so you never miss them again. You can do so by following the pinned comment below. As ever, take what's helpful, leave what isn't. Hopefully a little bit of guidance as to what to cultivate, what to look out for, and what to enjoy ultimately from the week ahead. And enjoyment is the right word for you, Taurus, because we start with the Lord of Abundance, the Three of Cups, in combination with the Six of Wands, the Lord of Victory. A really, really powerful combination, talking about festivities, talking about successes particularly. Three of Cups is often about community, solidarity, being in the company of friends, so not a time for isolation, not time for pulling yourself off to reflect and figure things out necessarily, but rather enjoy what life has to give. You can see these almost cornucopias, they're not quite, but this fecund harvest. This is always the card after the harvest. So recognizing and being thankful for the things that you've achieved, really. Important that you take a little bit of time to give yourself a bit of a pat on the back. We're starting to move into the end of the first quarter of the year. So looking at what you've managed. For many of us, the darkest parts of the year can be sometimes the most challenging. And we need to do this. We need to regularly check in with ourselves. We very often, as humans, focus on what's still left to do, our shortcomings, certainly, yeah, our critical mind tends to run rampant. It's much easier to remember what we did wrong rather than what we did right. And the Lord of Abundance is based on that. The principle of abundance is based on being able to recognize what to be grateful for, what to be thankful for, but not only in terms of the universe, but also within our own efforts and our own achievements, particularly as demonstrated with the Six of Wands, that Lord of Victory. You've got the laurel wreath around his head, the sign of the Olympiads, and the laurel wreath on the wand. So there is a lot to be thankful for. There's a lot to celebrate. Even if you are experiencing a bit of a challenging time, still look at, well, what are the lessons? What are the values within this? The fact that you're a Taurus sign is indicative of your ability to persevere, to push through, even in those times of hardship. And it's very, very necessary to recognize that ultimately. Something that is echoed with the Four of Swords, the Lord from rest from strife. I love the Four of Swords. It's the Lord of Peace is often how I describe it. But it's about coming back to balance, particularly mentally. What can you do this week that will give you a bit of a mental rest? If you spent a long time recently puzzling things out, making plans, really trying to apply that logic and that critical mind, we're just entering into this full moon in Virgo, and that's going to call for some of that. So I would slightly guard against being too hypercritical or too vigilant. I would actually encourage you to pull back a little bit and just allow partly this sense of celebration to enter, but also partly, can you cultivate more of a sense of, well, que sera, sera, what will be, rather than feverishly trying to get things to fit as we expect them to. Speaking of the full moon in Virgo, we do have the moon card here. So this moon energy is probably going to be felt quite strongly in the house of Taurus, unsurprisingly, as we have this full moon in Virgo, so a neighboring earth sign. And usually the moon card represents the fear of the unknown, the untrodden path, not knowing what's around the corner. But for me, I would say this is more of a time of taking stock really taking a pause within the path and getting a lay of the land in the ways that I've spoken about before. And we move finally to the Six of Pentacles, all about balance. The law of reciprocity is seen within the Six of Pentacles. So what we give out is what we receive. And just being very aware of that this week, Taurus, really cultivating that sense, that law of cause and effect. So just observe, what are you putting out there? And I mean that both in a local level of, you know, those days where we smile at people and they seem to smile back. And when we give out, when we radiate ease and joy and generosity, that's very much how the world meets us. Whereas if we're feeling shortchanged, cantankerous, frustrated, that tends to just exacerbate those kind of feelings. So a bit of a reminder to be generous of heart, but very much just that sense of, well, what you put out is what you'll receive. The law of karma, all those laws, the 12 universal laws really seem to be playing out this week for you. It's not a telling off by any means, but it's an awareness. It's an awareness of, actually, am I speaking to people in perhaps the most compassionate and gentle and generous way? Am I dedicating enough time and energy to those things that I want to get off the ground and want to start generating? Or is there just a lazy expectation here? So just gently adjusting that, thinking, actually, could I give a little bit more so that I receive a little bit more? And that really feels like it will pay dividends. Overall, it looks like a really great week, and it's nice to see that, because I know that some of the readings have been a little bit more challenging of late. There have been some more challenging energies abound recently. So it's really, really great to see this set of cards. Does it resonate? Does that help? Let me know in the comments below as ever. But until next week, have a wonderful, wonderful 7 days, and I shall see you then. Bye for now.